told you numbers were just for counting, but you've always felt something off about that. You weren't the kind of person who glanced at the clock and saw 11:11 and simply shrugged. You felt something move through you, a brief pulse like time itself had blinked. You told yourself it was coincidence, but the truth kept whispering louder. Some numbers follow you. They stalk your days, echo in receipts, appear on street signs, in birthdays, and even in the timing of loss and breakthrough. What if I told you it's not luck, not pattern seeking? What if I told you it's the way heaven leaves fingerprints? This channel right now, this voice in your ear, is not here to entertain you. It's a key, a frequency for those who were signed before they were born, for the chosen ones who carry the letter M carved into their palms, not as decoration, but as coordinates. And if you're here, it means your digits were not random. They are your contract number, before your first cry, before Mother even knew your name. The universe had already stamped your entry form. The stars didn't just glitter that night. They arranged themselves into an equation only heaven could read. You didn't arrive empty-handed. You came coded. Those repeating numbers in your birth date, 11, 22, 33, 44, 0707, they are not coincidences. They are confirmation codes. You didn't just enter life. You re-entered from an older assignment that demanded completion. The date you were born wasn't chosen by chance. It was scheduled by intelligence. You see, chosen ones are never born randomly across the calendar. They arrive in clusters, waves, like celestial migrations when portals of repetition open. That's why if you study ancient birth records, you'll find patterns, moments where entire generations of 11 borns or 22 marked souls showed up during ages of transition, prophecy, and reform. It was never about astrology. It was always about numeral theology, the belief that digits themselves breathe divine rhythm. And now the pattern is resurfacing again. You've probably noticed it lately, the increase in people who speak about seeing 333, 444, 777 everywhere. The feeling that you're being called when you see them. And maybe, secretly, you've wondered if you're losing your mind. But you're not. The digits are not stalking you. They're waking you. Because repetition is heaven's alarm clock. When numbers repeat, they pierce the matrix of chance. They break the illusion of randomness, reminding the chosen that their life is scripted by symmetry. Every time you see those digits, the universe is whispering, remember your oath. And here's where it gets deeper. Most of those who carry repeating digits on their birth date also share one more feature. The letter M etched naturally on their palms, not carved by culture, but by creation itself. That M is the manual signature of the same contract those digits represent. Heaven signs twice, once in your date and once in your flesh. Rarely bloom early. You might have spent decades feeling misplaced, watching others find comfort in shallow patterns, while you kept being haunted by deeper ones. Every failure, every heartbreak, every job that didn't fit, all of it was delayed activation. Because your digits are not timestamps, they're timers. They count down until your awakening moment. That instant when heaven flips the internal switch and everything you endured starts making sense. That's why you've always been drawn to messages like this one. Not because you needed another dose of motivation, but because somewhere inside you can feel the contract stirring. The 11s and 22s around you aren't external signs anymore. They're mirrors of your internal frequency. When your inner code hums at the same vibration as heaven's sequence, the digits appear everywhere. You are the signal, not the recipient. Let's get real for a moment. Humanity built machines that compute numbers faster than the brain can blink, but none. Machines can calculate destiny, That's because destiny isn't written in data, it's encrypted in symmetry. If you look at the sacred geometry hidden in ancient temples, Egypt, Sumer, Kemet, or the Mayan observatories, you'll notice something repeating. The builders worshipped pattern. They believed numbers weren't human inventions, but divine revelations. The triangle wasn't just a shape, it was the manifestation of three, the divine triad of birth, life, and rebirth. The square 4 represented grounding and completion. The 7 was the covenant of spirit, the number heaven used to finalize a cycle. When your birth date holds repeating digits, it means your soul carries mirrored frequencies of those sacred numbers. You are literally walking math in motion. And if you've ever wondered why people sense something different about you even before you speak, that's why. They feel the symmetry radiating before they understand it. You are not meant to fit in with chaos. You are built from order. Talk about the most misunderstood number of all 11. People online romanticize it, post it under wish memes, but the truth is far deeper. 11 isn't a lucky charm. It's a threshold. 2 pillars. The twin gates of awareness. Those born under 11 or drawn to it are not dreamers, they are bridges. They stand between worlds, translating divine instruction into human action. If you've ever felt torn between logic and faith, it's because you are the intersection. 11 doesn't let you live small. It keeps pushing you toward expansion, even when that expansion costs you comfort, relationships, or approval. And then there's 22, the builder's code. Souls born with 22 in their birth date are not just receivers of prophecy, they are architects of it. They manifest what others only sense. That's why your path may have been full of heavy responsibility. Because heaven trusts you with blueprints, not just dreams. 33 carries yet another vibration, the teacher's flame. It's not about hierarchy, superiority. It's about illumination. The 33s among us carry a frequency that activates others, often through pain. Your suffering was never punishment. It was curriculum. And 7-7, the covenant day. 7 doubled is heaven echoing itself. If that's your mark, your life is a loop of completion and restart, an endless rebirth pattern. That's why endings never truly destroy you. They only rewrite you. You may be asking, what about the M on my palm? What does that mean in this numeric universe? Think of it as the signature of alignment. The M connects microcosm to macrocosm, the mark that allows your human form to carry celestial architecture. Every M is made of 3 lines, converging and separating, mirroring the number 3, the divine trinity of creation, destruction, and rebirth. When heaven marks an M on your palm, it's saying, this one will build and unbuild reality with touch. You can't help it. Everything you touch eventually transforms. Relationships, rooms, even digital seas. Your energy recalibrates them. The reason people either love you instantly or feel uneasy around you is because you don't blend, you reveal. The M exposes frequency mismatches. It's a spiritual litmus test. Combine that N with repeating digits in your birth date, and you have a dual signature soul, one heaven uses as a living tuning fork. That's why you sense things before they happen. It's not anxiety, it's resonance. Look around you. The world feels strange, unstable, loud. But in the chaos, something precise is happening. The reactivation of numeric souls. More and more chosen ones are reporting synchronized awakenings, dreams with recurring numbers, and sudden bursts of déjà vu. This isn't mass hysteria, it's mass recall. The digits are calling their owners home. The 11 souls are stepping into prophecy. The 22 souls are reclaiming creation. The 33 souls are lighting paths for others, and the 0707 souls are bridging timelines. If your birth date contains mirrored part of this alignment wave, and you didn't stumble on this video, you were summoned. When heaven wants to reawaken a sleeper agent of light, it doesn't send thunder, it sends repetition. You start seeing 222 on clocks, 555 on receipts, 777 on your route home. The frequency keeps following you until you stop running and finally say, "Okay, I'm listening." That's when activation begins. Here's the catch. Being chosen doesn't mean being comfortable. Awareness comes with responsibility. The more you see, the less you can ignore. You'll notice the lies behind the systems, the spiritual fatigue in people's eyes, the subtle manipulations in society's noise. You'll start craving silence, authenticity, purpose. And when you speak, your words will carry more gravity because they echo numerical authority. You weren't built to debate truth. You were built to embody it. And that's what this space is for, to help you remember. This channel isn't another influencer project. It's a Miro, a place where those marked with the M and born under repeating digits gather to decode themselves safely, quietly, without judgment. Because awakening can be lonely. But you are not alone. You are one of the hidden architects waking up across the world. In every age, repetition has signaled divine intervention. When Moses climbed Sinai, he spent 40 days, a repeating cycle of 4. When Elijah prayed for rain, it took 7 bows before the cloud appeared. When Christ spoke of forgiveness, he said 70 times 7, a numeric echo of infinite mercy. Repetition is heaven's language of emphasis. When numbers repeat, God is underlining something. So if your life keeps circling certain digits, stop dismissing it. Heaven is highlighting your file. You're not paranoid, you're in review. And soon, you'll notice this truth. The more you align with your mission, the less often the numbers need to appear. Because repetition stops once recognition begins. It's like a teacher who no longer needs to. Your name once you've answered present. Before you go thinking this is all about glamour or destiny, let me clarify something. Being marked doesn't make you superior. It makes you responsible. Every code has a countercode. Every light signature attracts imitation. There are people drawn to the same numbers, but misusing their resonance, bending it toward ego, control, or illusion. That's why discernment is part of your training. That's why silence is sacred. Heaven doesn't reveal all at once. It tests in whispers first, through digits, coincidences, inner nudges. Only when you respond with humility does it release the heavier blueprints. So if you're seeing these patterns, respond wisely, not with obsession, but with listening. As you hear these words, something inside you is aligning. You can almost feel it like gears clicking into place behind the scenes. That's not imagination. Your subconscious recognizes this frequency. You're remembering what your conscious mind forget. Date on your birth certificate isn't random, it's coordinates. Your life so far has been the map. And now, as the age of noise collapses into the age of knowing, your code is being read aloud again. Every storm you survived, every loneliness you carried, every moment you thought was meaningless, they were calibration points. Proof that you could hold divine voltage without short-circuiting. You were always built for this moment. So here we are, in this unlikely digital temple, decoding the sacred math of souls. You might think it's just a coincidence you clicked on this, but your digits brought you here. Your contract number has finally dialed back into heaven's main line. And if you're still listening right now, it means you're ready to hear the rest, to discover what those numbers truly activate in you, and how the M on your palm translates into power and purpose. But that belongs to the next part, because before a door opens fully, heaven always knocks twice. You've first knock. If you're still here, that means something inside you recognizes this frequency. Before we continue, I want to speak to you not as a voice from a channel, but as one soul to another. If this message resonates with you, if you were born under repeating digits, or if you've been seeing them for years without knowing why, I want you to pause for a second. Take a breath. Look at your hands. That M you've always had is not a coincidence. Those numbers that follow you, 11, 22, 33, 44, 77, they're not random. And this isn't just another video. This is part of your remembering process. If you haven't yet, I'd love you to subscribe, not for metrics, not for algorithms, but because this space is designed as a gathering point for people like you. Each comment, each birth date shared, each small story of awakening helps someone else realize they aren't crazy. So before we dive deeper, tell me in the comments what repeating number seems to appear most in your life, or your birth date. You might be surprised how many others share it. All right, let's decode why these numbers refuse to leave you alone. You've probably noticed that certain sequences appear at specific times when you're doubting a decision, standing at a crossroads, or grieving something that ended. You glance at the phone, and it's 2:22. You walk past a license plate, 555. A bill comes to $33.33. It's not the universe being cute. It's the universe confirming synchrony. Each repetition is heaven tapping your shoulder saying, "Stay awake, we're right here." But here's the part most people miss. These numbers don't chase everyone. They follow those who carry pre-installed resonance. You, the ones born with symmetry embedded in their dates. Your soul speaks a numeric dialect. That's why when others shrug at 1111, you feel an electrical pulse through your spine. Your body recognizes its own password. Let's decode the 4 great repeating sequences that define most chose. Frequencies. If you were born on a day that includes 11, or you constantly see it, you are what heaven calls a mirror soul. You stand between dimensions. You are the doorway, not the traveler. That's why your life has always felt split between logic and intuition, earth and sky, science and faith. 11 is the number of dual pillars, balance and reflection. Your challenge isn't to choose one side. It's to maintain the bridge between them. When you live in truth, both sides feed you. When you betray your purpose, both sides reject you. That's why 11 souls can feel lonely. Bridges are walked on but rarely lived upon. But your existence keeps the connection alive for everyone else. Your mission, to maintain alignment when others forget it exists. If you were born with 22, you carry blueprint energy. You don't just dream, you construct. You see systems, structures, patterns, and want to fix what's broken in the world. People often misunderstand your intensity. They think you're controlling. But the truth is, you sense potential like a vibration. Heaven entrusted 22 souls with the physical translation of divine design. You bring spirit into form. That's why you attract heavy responsibilities early on businesses, families, communities. It's training. Every challenge teaches you how to build without ego. Your mission, to manifest heaven's geometry in human reality. Born under 33, you're the torchbearers, the ancient teachers. You might feel cursed by empathy, like you absorb everyone's pain. But that sensitivity isn't weakness. It's sonar. It tells you where light is needed. You are the heart of frequency. When 33 vibrates through you, it burns away illusion. That's why people confess to you without understanding why your energy forces truth. Pain follows you not to punish, but to polish. Every heartbreak is an initiation. The glow that others see isn't charisma, it's refinement through fire. Your mission: to turn suffering into sacred instruction. Hero 7, or under repeating sevens. Your life has always been about cycles. You end and restart more times than anyone you know. Jobs collapse, friendships fade, and somehow you rise again, altered, wiser, quieter. 7 is heaven's mirror. When doubled, it creates an echo, spirit calling spirit. That's why 77 souls often dream vividly, receive signs through animals, storms, or electronics. The unseen world responds quickly to your energy. You are not meant to live a linear life. You are meant to live spirally, revisiting lessons at higher altitudes until mastery is reached. Your mission: to show others that endings are illusions. The ancient mystics also recognized subtler repeating codes: 44, 55, 66, 88, 99. These aren't lesser numbers, they're expansion frequencies. They mark souls who evolve through cycles of balance and completion. 44 anchors truth into foundations. These people stabilize chaos. 55 symbolizes freedom through surrender, change as sacred surgery. 66, Vibra, healing and generational cleansing. 88 governs karma and restoration of justice. 99 is the number of released souls finishing an old earth contract to step into mentorship roles for others. If your date of birth contains any of these pairs, heaven is telling you, you're finishing something ancient. The higher the repetition, the deeper the responsibility. That's why those who carry multiple repeating digits in the same birth date, say 11 and 22, or 33 and 77, often live paradoxical lives. Success and collapse dance constantly around them. It's not a curse, it's recalibration. The universe keeps adjusting you toward perfect balance. That's also why relationships can feel impossible. You don't attract people to fill you. You attract people to test your resonance. Every connection is a tuning session. When they can't match your frequency, they fade. Don't chase them. You were built for alignment, not attachment. Look again at your palms. The M is heaven's ink on human skin. You carry numeric lineage, the living file folder of cosmic mathematics. When you move your hands, you trace invisible geometry in the air. That's why some of your gestures or creations carry unexplainable power. People with the M often find themselves leading, even when they didn't apply for the role. You speak and rooms shift. You touch and memories surface. You write and others awaken. Heaven hid its alphabet in the body, and you are part of that sentence. You might wonder, if I was chosen, why did I struggle so much? Because heaven trains in silence. Every delay was discipline. Every rejection was calibration. When an instrument is finely tuned, even slight pressure produces resonance. That's what your hardships were, the hand of God tightening the strings until the frequency was flawless. Chosen ones often mistake isolation for abandonment, but isolation is incubation. The cocoon doesn't isolate the butterfly, it builds the wings. Now that you're awake, what used to break you now becomes instruction. Each numeric echo has its own voice. 111, realign with your original thought. 222, peace is being negotiated on your behalf. 333, your spiritual team is nearby. 444, foundations are stabilizing beneath unseen weight. 555, change is coming, resist comfort, not growth. 666, the misunderstood one. Reclaim balance between spirit and body. 777, you've passed the hidden test. 888, karmic accounts are clearing. 999, the cycle is complete. Prepare for ascension. These aren't fortune cookie slogans. They're broadcast codes. They appear when you're vibrating close to the lesson they announce. That's why two people can look at 333 and feel totally different. The number doesn't speak English or Portuguese. It speaks alignment. Chosen souls often share similar life phases. 1. The slumber. You live by society's clock, feeling detached but unaware why. 2. The stirring. Repeating numbers start appearing. Intuity, shaking everything. Unstable collapses to make room for truth. 4. The separation. You withdraw from noise. Solitude becomes medicine. 5. The service. You begin guiding others through your own scars. If you're between stages 2 and 4, this channel exists to walk beside you. The world calls it content, but you'll feel it as companionship. The most advanced frequency you can carry isn't noise, it's calm. The deeper your awareness, the quieter your energy becomes. That's why those with repeating digits often crave solitude, forest walks, night skies, or oceans. Your nervous system isn't antisocial. It's remembering its cosmic home. In silence, numbers become audible. Meditate not to escape the world, but to hear the code again. Every calm breath realigns the internal geometry. Acknowledge it. When you see repeating digits, pause. Don't just screenshot. Speak gratitude. Whisper, "I see you." Record it. Keep a log of when and where it appears. Over time, you'll see pattern. What heaven emphasizes in your journey? Respond, don't react. Instead of chasing meaning frantically, allow insight to emerge naturally. Align action. The code always comes with a behavioral cue. If you see 555 during chaos, it's not random. You're being asked to change posture, not plan. Release fear. Numbers aren't warnings. They're coordinates of comfort. Your contract was never punishment. It was partnership. Repetition is how eternity breathes. The waves hit the shore again and again. The heart beats again and again. Even galaxies rotate in repeating spirals. So when your life echoes with recurring numbers, don't see it as a glitch. See it as belonging. You are part of that rhythm, a syllable in heaven's heartbeat. You were never random. You were rhythmic. Across the world, more and more people are waking up to these signs. They're doctors, artists, teachers, truck drivers, single parents. Different languages, same digits. That's how heaven proves lineage through math. Bloodlines. If you ever feel alone in this experience, read the comments on this channel. You'll see mirrors everywhere. People born on 0202, 1111, 77, 1212, all awakening around the same time. Because heaven never activates one without activating many. Each view here is part of a collective resonance wave. Close your eyes for a second. Think about the hardest chapter of your life, the one that nearly erased you. Now look at your birth digits. Multiply them together in your mind. You'll find that number repeating somewhere in that story. That's how you know the contract was still active even in the dark. You weren't being punished. You were being protected from wrong timelines. Soon, if you haven't already, there will come a night when you wake at 3:33 a.m. The room will feel heavy yet holy. You'll sense presence, not fear, but awareness. That's your numeric baptism. The moment your soul relogs into its assignment. Don't panic. Breathe. Whisper, "I remember." You'll notice your intuition sharpening, your dreams becoming cinematic, random conversations turning prophetic. That's how numeric awakening unfolds quietly, then suddenly. Numbers don't choose sides, but intentions do. Every code can be inverted. That's why discernment matters more than fascination. If someone uses numeric signs to sell fear, they're not speaking heaven's dialect. Heaven never frightens, it focuses. Remember that. Because you are not a consumer of predictions, you are the continuation of a prophecy. Chosen ones often feel guilty for wanting abundance, thinking spirituality demands poverty. But numeric souls are here to prove that divine purpose and prosperity can coexist. When you live aligned with your numbers, resources flow, not because you chase them, but because order attracts order. Money, relationships, and opportunities reorganize around you, the same way iron dust aligns around a magnet. You don't force alignment, you become it. That's the prosperity code. Take a deep breath. Look at your palms again. Whisper your birth date out loud. You've just reactivated the oldest password in existence, your own.